is a story, but I don't know if we're gonna start now.
Yes, Prabhu, I started, but you can explain the story.
Okay, so there's this one king, and he invited three brahmanas over to his castle to take partake of the offering and everything. So he offered the brahmanas some um for very very nice prashadam. So the king was like, okay, please enjoy. It's a big feast. So each one of them was like having like a dish of many many dishes. So, but what the king did was he hung swords above the brahmanas, and then the brahmanas they were like in fear. They're like, oh, what is this? The king's like, oh, you can still eat, but uh, but be mindful of the swords above you. So the brahmanas they were like, very much afraid and everything. They were still eating though. And then after they're done, the king comes up to him and was like, "Oh, how was the food?" And then the Brahmins were like, "Oh, we couldn't pay attention to how the food was tasting. We're always focused on the danger that the swords were dropping."
Mm.
And and then the king's like, "Yes, this is how I must live my life as a king. I have to have the fear that I may die at any time."
Yes,
so
Prabhu.
that so that he has a focus, you know.
Yes, Prabhu. This is really accurate description of the material life.
Mm, mm. So yeah, I think we
Because
can.
yeah, you know, when one is not in struggle, he's afraid that struggle will come. But during struggle, you
Mm.
cannot be afraid anymore because you have to fix it. You're already there.
Yep,
This is not
yep, that's it.
fearful stage.
Mm.
Okay, who wants to chant Mangalachan prayers?
Okay, I can chant real quick.
Yes, Prabhu.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnana Divyandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kitameham Vidati Swapitantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Patkamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sagakanaraganatam Vikamtam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Harijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devan Shri Radha Krishna Vadam Sahaganalita Shiva Kantam Shat Hey Krishna Karna Sindhu Dinabando Jagapate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanja Nagorangi Radhe Vinnamaneshwari Vishnumanu Sade Devi Pranamami Hari Piye Vancha Kapatur Sasha Ipa Sindhu Vayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nete Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prashayane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Prashata Deshatayane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gauramaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you, Prabhu.
Haribo. There is this also.
Narayana Namaskritya Navam Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayat Shrinvata Um, hold on one second. Shrinvatam Swagata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hir Hirdiyanta Sto Bhadrani Vitu Vitunoti Shrit Satam Nashtaparishu Abhadrishu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavate Naistiki. Before reciting the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto personality Godhead, Narayana. What was the third one? What's the third one? Okay, Sri Krishna, the personality Godhead, who is the Paramatma, super soul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and enchanted by regular attendance in classes in Bhagavatam and by renewing service of by renewing service to a pure devotee. All that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality Godhead, whose praise with transcendental songs is established as an irrevocable fact. Able. Okay, reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, third canto, chapter 31, verse number 24. Patito Bhuvya Shrin Misra Vista Bur Eva Chetate Roru Yati Gate Jnane Viparitam Gatim Gataha. Translation purport by Divine Grace. Vechar Narvita Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Patitaha, fallen. Bhuvi, on the earth. Ash, Ashrik, with blood. Mishraha, smeared. Vista Buhu, a worm, Eva, like Chetate, he moves his limbs. Roruyati cries loudly. Gate, being lost. Jnane, his wisdom. Viparitam, the opposite. Gatim, state. Gataha, gone to. Translation. The child thus falls on the ground, smeared with stool and blood, and plays just like a worm germinated from the stool. He loses his superior knowledge and cries under the spell of Maya. Wow. Parachandram Navid Usa Pushamano Janena Saha Anadi Pretam Ananda Patya Kyatum Ani Varaha Parachandam, the desire of another, not vidusha, understanding, pushyam manaha, being maintained, janane, by person, saha, he, anabhipretam, into undesirable circumstances, apanaha, fallen, pratyakaitum, to refuse, and anisvaraha, unable. Translation. After coming out of the abdomen, the child is given to care of persons who are unable to understand what he wants, and thus he is nursed by such persons. Unable to refuse whatever is given to him, he falls into undesirable circumstances. Translation purport by His Divine Grace of H.R. Narvinda, Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Within the abdomen of the mother, the nourishment of the child was being carried on by nature's own arrangement. Although the atmosphere within the abdomen was not at all pleasing, still, as far as the child's feeding was concerned, it was being properly done by the laws of nature. But upon coming out of the abdomen of the child, or coming out of the child falls into a different atmosphere. He wants to eat one thing, but something else is given to him because no one knows his actual demand. He cannot refuse the undesirables given to him. Sometimes the child cries for the mother's breast, but because the nurse thinks that it is due to pain within the stomach, he's crying. She supplies him some bitter medicine. The child does not want it, but he cannot refuse it. He is put into a very awkward circumstances, and the suffering continues. Wow, that's very poignant. It's very nice.
Yes, Prabhu.
Like the way that it describes it, it's just like it summarizes our whole experiences here, bro. Like we don't want it, and
Yes,
but we're
Prabhu.
forced to.
Yes,
Yes.
Prabhu. This is just also what we talked just now, because this is what the nurses do also, because when they don't know actually what you have, they just supply some bitter medicine. It's just like what we were same topic.
Wow, like it's literally on point.
Yeah, the patient does not want it, but he cannot refuse it. They will say you need blood thinners.
You need blood thinners. You need blood transfusion. You need this.
Yes, Prabhu. See, the cause is something completely different, like hunger or stomach pain, but they will think it's something different and they will give bitter medicine instead of food.
Just see, just see.
The bingo card.
Bingo. Oh, you have this, you get this medicine. Saito Suchi Par Yanke Chantu Sweta Ja Dushite Nisha Kantu Yanin Ganam Asanotana Chetane Saitaha lay down Ashuchi Paryanke on a foul bed. Jantuhu, the child, say Suedaja, with creatures born from sweat. Dushi Dushiste, infested, na Ishaha, incapable of Kanduyane, scratching Anganam, his limbs asana, sitting, Uttana, sitting, standing, excuse me, Chetane, or moving. Translation: laid down on a foul bed infested with sweat and germs, the poor child is incapable of scratching his body to get relief from the itching sensation, to say nothing of sitting up, standing, or even moving. Wow. My God. Purport: it should be noted that the child is born crying and suffering. After birth, the same suffering continues, and he cries because he is disturbed by the germs of the foul bed, which is contaminated by his urine and stool. The poor child continues to cry. He is unable to take any remedial measure for his relief. Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
Yes, Prabhu, this is crazy. The birth is spent in stool and urine, and also the dead is spent in stool and urine. Both are like this. It shows the nature of this place.
Bro, like who has this sort of detail? Like who? This is like very detailed.
Yes, Prabhu.
The child, he's actually he's itching because of the sweat and stool and all the germs and everything. And then like everyone else who I came in touch with, oh, the baby is just crying, he's just, fussy or something. But they don't know that this is why he's crying.
Yes, Prabhu.
Wow.
I
Mm.
remember this feeling as a little child that you had many problems, but you were incapable of doing anything and you get really frustrated. Because even the controlling of the body was really, I remember when it was difficult and I was just learning. Because I remember I wanted to do something like in certain way, but it's not possible. The body is not yet, you have not yet learned how to control it like that. So it's really frustrating moment, frustrating
You're
feeling.
speaking the facts. You're literally speaking the facts,
In the
bro.
beginning, the frustration is the most because then the baby gets more tolerated to it eventually. But imagine in the beginning, you cannot, because then the control is least. You cannot do anything. So yeah, it's horrible position. You're just learning what even the itching sensation is. You're just getting
Wow.
introduced it to a first time. You don't know what even scratching is. You don't even know it yet, but you're just the scratching sensation will make you learn the itching sensation will make you learn how to scratch, but first you gotta experience it and imagine how like crazy it is first time. You cannot move your hands or anything. And
Just see, yeah, you're right. They can't really move their hands. They don't know how to control.
yes, Prabhu, it's like a game where the control is like half broken. You're trying to like fly the plane or something, but it's going opposite direction and you're like, what is this?
Oh, wait, wait, wait. Punjab Rule said something. Let's see. Yeah, even the scratching detail of Lord Kapila, who is not different from Krishna, shared this deep info. Yep, that's a fact, bro. Okay, 27. Tu dan jyat ma twacham da tamsa masakam mat kunna dayaha rudantam vigata jnanam krimaya krimikam yataha. I mean yata. Tundandi. They bite Atma Twacham, the baby, whose skin is soft. Damshaha, gnats. Masa Kaha, mosquitoes. Matkuna, bugs. Adayaha, and other creatures. Rudantam, trying. Vigata, deprived of. Jnanam, wisdom. Krinmaya, Mayaha, uh, worms. Krimi, come, a worm. Yata, just as. Translation. In his helpless conditions, gnats, mosquitoes, bugs, and other germs bite the baby, whose skin is tender, just as a smaller worm bites a big worm. The child, deprived of his wisdom, cries bitterly. Purport. The word Vigata Gyanam means that the spiritual knowledge which the child develops in the abdomen is already lost in the spell of Maya, to the spell of Maya, owing to various kinds of disturbances to being out of the abdomen. The child cannot remember what he was thinking of his. The child cannot remember what he was thinking of for his salvation. It is assumed that even if a person acquires some spiritually uplifting knowledge, circumstantially, he is prone to forget it. Not only children, but also elderly persons should be very careful to protect their sense of Krishna consciousness and avoid unfavorable circumstances so that they may not forget their prime duty. Okay. E Eva Evam Savam Buk Bukta Buktva to Kampokantam Evacha Alabda Disito Nyanad Itana It Ita Manyushucha Pitaha It Iti Evam. In this way, Sai Savam, childhood, Uktwa, having undergone to come distress, Pao Gandham, boyhood, even Eva, even Cha, and Alabda, not achieved, Abi Abipsitaha, he whose desires Agyanat due to ignorance, Ita kindled, Munya his anger, Sucha by sorrow, Arpitaha overcome. Translation. In this way, the child passes through his childhoods, suffering different kinds of distresses, and he attains boyhood. In boyhood, also he suffers pain over desires to get things which he can never achieve, and thus due to ignorance he becomes angry and sorry. Purport. From birth to the end of 5 years of age is called childhood. After 5 years up to the end of the 15th year is called Pauganda. At 16, at 16 years of age, youth begins. The distresses of childhood are already explained, but when the child attains. Okay, okay. Someone can continue reading.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Yeah, no problem.
Who wants to read next? Hare Krishna, Praveen Prabhu. Tandat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhu is Dhanavad Pran Jaisal Prabhupada. I will read Prabhu, no problem. Purport.
Oh, sorry.
From birth to the end of 5 years of age is called childhood. After 5 years, up to the end of the 15th year is called Pauganda. At 16 years of age, youth begins. The distresses of childhood are already explained, but when the child attains boyhood, he is enrolled in a school which he does not like. He wants to play, but he is forced to go to school and study and take responsibility for passing examinations. Another kind of distress is that he wants to get some things with which to play, but circumstances may be such that he is not able to attain them, and he thus becomes aggrieved and feels pain. In one word, he is unhappy, even in his boyhood, just as he was unhappy in his childhood. What to speak of youth? Boys are apt to create so many artificial demands for playing, and when they don't attain satisfaction, they become furious with anger, and the result is suffering. Next 29. सह देहेन मानेन वर्धमानेन मन्युना करोति विग्रहं कामी कामी कामिष्वन्ताय चात्मन चात्मनः synonyms saha with dehena the body manena with false prestige vardhamanena increasing manyuna on account of anger karoti he creates vigraham enmity Kami, the lusty person, Kamishu, towards other lusty people, Anya, Antaya, for destruction, Cha, and Atmanaha, of his soul. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. With the growth of the body, the living entity, in order to vanquish his soul, increases his false prestige and anger, and thereby creates enmity towards similarly lusty people. Purport. In the Bhagavad Gita, third chapter, 36th verse, Arjuna inquired from Krishna about the cause of a living being's lust. It is said that a living entity is eternal and as such qualitatively one with the Supreme Lord. Then what is the reason that he falls prey to the material and commits so many sinful activities by the influence of the material energy? In reply to this question, Lord Krishna said that it is lust which causes a living entity to glide down from his exalted position to the abominable uh, condition of material existence. This lust circumstantially changes into anger. Both lust and anger stand on the platform of the mode of passion. Lust is actually the product of the mode of passion, and in the absence of satisfaction of lust, the same desire transforms into anger on the platform of ignorance. When ignorance covers the soul, it is the source of his degradation to the most abominable condition of a hellish life. To rise oneself from hellish life to the highest position of the spiritual understanding is to transform this lust into love of Krishna. Sri Narottamadasa Thakur, a great Acharya of the Vaishnava Sampradaya, said, Kama Krishna Karmarpane. Due to our lust, we want many things for our sense gratification, but the same lust can be transformed in a purified way so that we want everything for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Anger can also be utilized towards a person who is atheistic or who is envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As we have fallen in this material existence because of our lust and anger, the same two qualities can be utilized for the purpose of advancing in Krishna consciousness, and one can elevate himself again to his former pure spiritual position. Srila Rupa Goswami has therefore recommended that because in material existence we have so many objects of sense gratification which we need for the maintenance of the body, we should use all of them without attachment for the purpose of satisfying the senses of Krishna, that is actual renunciation. Text 30. भूतैः पञ्चभिर् आरब्धे देहे देह्यबूधो अस् अशकृत् अहं ममेत्यशद्ग्राहः करोति कुमतिर्मतिं synonyms bhutaihi by material elements panchabihi five arabdhe made dehe in the body dehi the living entity abudha ignorant ashakrit constantly aham I mama my mine iti thus asat non-permanent things graha accepting karoti he does kumatihi being foolish matim thought. Translation: by such ignorance the living entity accepts the material body, which is made of five elements, as himself. With this misunderstanding, he accepts non permanent things as his own and increases his ignorance in the darkest region. Purport: the expansion of ignorance is explained in this verse. The first ignorance is to identify oneself as material body, which is made of five elements, as the self, and to identify one's material body, which is made of five elements, as the self, and the second is to accept something as one's own due to a body connection. In this way, ignorance expands. The living entity is eternal, but because of his accepting non-permanent things, misidentifying his interest, he is put into ignorance and therefore he suffers material pangs. Text 31. Tadartham kurute karma yadbaddho yati samsritim yonu yati dadat klesham avidya karma bandhanaha. Synonyms: tadartham, for the sake of the body, kurute, he performs karma, actions, yat bandhanaha, bound by which yati, he goes, samsritim, to repeated birth and death, yaha, which body, anuyati, follows, dadat, giving, klesham, misery, avidya, by ignorance, karma, by fruitive activities, bandhanaha, the cause of bondage. Translation: for the sake of the body, which is a source of constant trouble to him and which follows him because he is bound by ties of ignorance and fruitive activities, he performs various actions which cause him to be subjected to repeated birth and death. Purport: in the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that one has to work to satisfy Yajna or Vishnu. For any work done without the purpose of satisfying the Supreme Personality of Godhead is a cause of bondage. In the conditioned state, a living entity accepting his body as himself forgets his eternal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and acts on the interest of his body. He takes the body as himself, his bodily expansions as his kinsman, and the land from which his body is born as worshipable. In this way, he performs all sorts of misconceived activities which lead to his perpetual bondage in repetition of birth and death in various species. In modern civilization, the so-called social, national, and government leaders mislead people more and more under the bodily conception of life, with the result that all the leaders with their followers are gliding down to hellish conditions birth after birth. An example is given in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam: Andhayathandhair upaniyamanaha. When a blind man leads several other blind men, the result is that all of them fall down in a ditch. This is actually happening. There are many leaders to lead the ignorant public, but because every one of them is bewildered by the bodily conception of life, there is no peace and prosperity in human society. So called yogis who perform various bodily feats are also in the same category as such ignorant people, because the Hatha Yoga system is especially recommended for persons who are grossly implicated in the bodily conception. The conclusion is that as long as one is fixed in the body conception, he has to suffer birth and death. Text 32. Yadyasad pati पुनः शिष्णोदर कृतोद्यमैः आस्थितो रमते जन्तुस् तमो विशति पूर्ववत् श्रेणींस्. यदि if sadbi asadbihi with the unrighteous pati pathi on the path, punaha again, shishna for the genital, udara for the stomach, krita done, udyamaihi whose endeavors, asthitaha associating, ramate enjoys, jantuhu the living entity, tamaha darkness, vishati enters, porvavat as before. Translation: if therefore the living entity again associates with the path of unrighteousness, influenced by sensually minded people engaged in the pursuit of sexual enjoyment and the gratification of the palate, he again goes to hell as before. Purport: it has been explained that the conditioned soul is put into the Andha Tamisra and Tamisra hellish conditions, and after suffering there, he gets a hellish body like the dogs or hogs. After several such births, he again comes into the form of a human being. How the human being is born is also described by Kapil Deva. The human being develops in the mother's abdomen and suffers there and comes out again. After all these sufferings, if he gets another chance in a human body and wastes his valuable time in the association of persons who are concerned with sexual life and palatable dishes, then unfortunately he again glides down to the same Andhatamisra and Tamisra hells. Generally, people are concerned with the satisfaction of the tongue and the satisfaction of the genitals. That is material life. Material life means eat, drink, be merry, and enjoy, with no concern for understanding one's spiritual identity and the process of spiritual advancement. Since materialistic people are concerned with the tongue, belly, and genitals, if anyone wants to advance in spiritual life, he must be very careful about associating with such people. To associate with such materialistic men is to commit purposeful suicide in the human form of life. It is said, therefore, that an intelligent man should give up such undesirable association and should always mix with saintly persons. When he is in association with saintly persons, all his doubts about the spiritual expansion of life are eradicated and he makes a tangible process on the path of spiritual understanding. It is also sometimes found that people are very much addicted to a particular type of religious faith. Hindus, Muslims, and Christians are faithful in their particular type of religion and they go to the church, temple, or mosque, but unfortunately, they cannot give up the association of persons who are too much addicted to sex life and satisfaction of the palate. Here it is clearly said that one may officially be a very religious man, but if he associate with such persons, then he is sure to slide down to the darkest region of hell.
How many verses this chapter has?
Not sure, Prabhu. One second, let me see that
Yeah.
quickly.
I think maybe 40, 50.
I'm checking. Is it 31st chapter? Yes. 31st. 48.
Yes, Prabhu. Then we cannot finish today, but let's read few more.
Okay. Text 33. सत्यं शौचं दया मौनं बुद्धिः श्रीर् ह्रीर् यशः क्षमा समोदमो भगश्चेति यत् संघाद् याति संक्षयम् Synonyms: Satyam, truthfulness; Saucham, cleanliness; Dayam, mercy; Maunam, gravity; Buddhihi, intelligence; Shrihi, prosperity; Hrihi, shyness; Yashaha, fame; Kshama, forgiveness; Shamaha, control of the mind; Damaha, control of the senses; Bhagaha, fortune; Cha, and Iti, thus; Yat Sangat, from association with whom; Yati, Shankshayam, or destroyed. Translation: he becomes devoid of truthfulness, cleanliness, cleanliness, mercy, gravity, spiritual intelligence, shyness, austerity, fame, forgiveness, control of the mind, control of the senses, fortune, and all such opportunities. Purport: those who are too addicted to sex life cannot understand the purpose of the absolute truth, nor can they be clean in their habits, and not to mention showing mercy to others. They cannot remain grave, and they have no interest in the ultimate goal of life. The ultimate goal of life is Krishna or Vishnu, but those who are addicted to sex life cannot understand that their ultimate interest is Krishna consciousness. Such people have no sense of decency, and even in public streets or public parks, they embrace each other just like cats and dogs and pass it off in the name of love making. Such unfortunate creatures can never become materially prosperous. Behavior like that of cats and dogs keeps them in the position of cats and dogs. They cannot improve any material condition, not to speak of becoming famous. Foolish persons Such foolish persons may even make a show of so called yoga, but they are unable to control the senses and mind, which is the real purpose of yoga practice. Such people can have no opulence in their lives. In a word, they are very unfortunate.
Yeah, this was really interesting because it says they cannot become materially prosperous. But how to understand this? Because all the materially prosperous people, they're crazy like this.
Well, like materially prosperous would be like
Yeah, it's
Okay, you're setting out your material life to go to the heavenly planets. No way
yes.
that they will be benefited with these sort of nonsense. They're going straight to
Mm.
hell.
Yeah, I was thinking just this planet. I was not thinking the whole material universe. Because we are not materially prosperous. No one here is materially prosperous. We are living in a plastic era. I think here is prosperous.
Yeah, you're right. All plastic, no gold, no silver.
Yes, but I think even the richest persons, they are not prosperous here compared to the poorest persons in heavenly planets. For them, they eat from, I think they take their food from the high class things like gold plates and all those things. For us, Benny have never seen even what gold is. It's crazy.
That's a fact.
Hmm. So this is for the cat and dog persons, they cannot improve even materially. Oh, they do yoga also. I've seen the puppy yoga. Just last week they made a big advertisement here. New puppy yoga. Come do stretching with the little dogs.
Puppy yoga.
Yes, Prabhu. That's really interesting concept actually, because they get to choose their like next body. Can have cat yoga if they want to become a cat. They, they have like the right concept, but wrong goal. That they're meditating on the animal bodies instead of the supreme goal.
Actually, you're right.
Yeah,
Wow, they're
it
actually
shows this.
like the
It shows this purport because here it says also that they do yoga practice. So this is their yoga practice, meditating on the animal body. They are not just acting like cats and dogs. They are literally trying to concentrate on that body. So it's crazy.
it is crazy.
Okay, Praveen Prabhu, can you please read one more verse?
Yes, last one. Because I have got a message from a manager for a quick call. Okay, let me complete this verse. 34, text 34. त्वेष त्वेष्वान्तेषु मूढेषु खण्डिता खण्डितात्मा स्वसाधुषु सङ्गं न कुर्याच्छोच्येषु योषित क्रीडा मृगेषु च synonyms तेषु with those अशान्तेषु course how to pronounce it course is it course mudeshu fools kandita atmasu bereft of self realization asadhushu wicked sangam association not kuryat one should make shocheshu pitiable yoshit of women krida mrigeshu dancing dogs, cha, and translation. One should not associate with a coarse fool who is bereft of the knowledge of self-realization, who is no more than a dancing dog in the hands of a woman. Purport. The restriction of association with such foolish persons is especially meant for those who are in the line of advancement in Krishna consciousness. Advancement in Krishna consciousness involves developing the qualities of truthfulness, cleanliness, mercy, gravity, intelligence in spiritual knowledge, simplicity, material opulence, fame, forgiveness, and control of the mind and the senses. All these qualities are to be maintained with the progress of Krishna consciousness. But if one associates with a Sudra, a foolish person who is like a dancing dog in the hands of a woman, then he cannot make any progress. Lord Chaitanya has advised that any person who is engaged in Krishna consciousness and who desires to pass beyond material nescience must not associate himself with women or with persons interested in material and enjoyment. For a person seeking advancement in Krishna consciousness, such association is more dangerous than suicide.
Haribol. Thank you so much.
Very well. Yeah, thank you, bro.
Thank you very much, bro.
Thank you.
This was really nice.
So,
And
yeah, in fact, all these chapters spoken by Kapil Dev are topmost knowledge, bro. Is the topmost knowledge.
yes,
Okay, it's the
bro.
top knowledge, and moreover, it is very difficult to remember it on a long-term basis. So we have to go through these chapters again and again to understand our real position in the womb of the mother and
Yes,
the pain we have gone through as well.
yes, Prabhu. Otherwise, we won't remember the struggles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Can we read 6 second prayers?
And one more point is it is not only applicable to human form of body in the mother's womb. This is the same situation for every soul in other in the womb of other species as well, like dogs, cats,
Yes,
uh,
Prabhu.
mammals, anything. Okay, so the suffering is same irrespective of the type of the body.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. Even as a little tree. That's crazy.
Hmm. Can someone please continue with the Sikshastakam and the 10 offenses because I have to take a call now.
Eto Darpanamarjanam Pavamādavagni Nivarpanam Shreya Kaiva Chandrika Vitarnam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Buddhipudam Purnamata Swadhanam Sarvatma Snaparam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Nam Kari Bahudan Nitisava Saktis Takta Pita Niyamitas Manena Kalaha Ita Dishi Dava Kipa Bhagavan Mama Pi Durdeva Miti Samiha Janinana Raka. Are we doing like turn by turn, bro?
Yes, Prabhupada. Everyone seems to be quiet.
Uh, if it's if someone else wants to take, they can take.
Yes,
I can
Prabhu.
continue, bro. Trinadapi Nichena Tarorapi Saishnara Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Hari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajagadish Kamiye Mama Janmani Janmanishwari Bhutat Bhakti Rahetu Kitwai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishami Bhavam Buddha Kripayato Pada Pankajastita Duri Sadrisham Vishintaya Nayanam Galata Sudharaya Vadanam Gadagadarudaya Gira Pulakir Nichitam Vapukada Tavanam Grahani Bhushati युगायितं निमिषेण चक्षुषा प्रवृषायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दाभिरहेण मे अश्लिष्टवापादरतां पुनष्टमाम् अदर्शनां मर्महतां करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदधातुलं पटो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव नापरः Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtana which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is a prime benediction of for humanity at last because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is life for all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to all living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh my Lord, out of your kindness, you enable us to easily approach your names by chanting. Out of your kindness, you enable us to easily approach your by chanting your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking myself lower than a straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire a beautiful woman, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want a causeless devotional service birth after birth. O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from the ocean of birth, ocean of death, and place me as one of the atoms of your lotus feet. O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on at the recitation of your name? Oh Govinda, failing your separation, I am considering like a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so if he handles me roughly in his embrace, or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally. Shri Shikshashtakam ki jai, Shri Chaitanya
Jai.
Mahaprabhu ki jai.
Jai. Prabhu.
बहुजन्म करे यदि श्रवण कीर्तन तब उतन पाए कृष्ण पदे प्रेमधन. If one is infested with the 10 offenses in the chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, despite his endeavor to chant the holy names of for many births, he will not get the love of God. That is the ultimate goal of this chanting. The offenses against the chanting of the holy names are as follows. The first offense is to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. Second offense is to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. Third offense is to disobey the orders of spiritual master or to think of him as an ordinary person. Fourth offense is to blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version. Fifth offense is to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. Sixth offense is to give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord. Seventh offense is to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord. Eighth offense is to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities karma kanda. Ninth offense is to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. And tenth offense is to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success Krishna Prema. Now let us offer our respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and they are full of compassion for the fallen souls.
Vanchakalpatarubhyaśa
कृपा सिंधु से पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय
Nitai Gaur Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol. Thank you so much for association, Prabhu. Hare Krishna Vivek Prabhu Tandat Pranam Jai Shri Prabhupada. Thank you everyone for joining the session. It was really nice. And Manu Prabhu for the beginning conversation. So see you again tomorrow in the Q&A session. Hari Bol. Jai